each other and the muscles holding the bones in place. And then notice your breath as you inhale and exhale, allowing the mind to follow the breath so that you think, I breathe in, I breathe out, I breathe in and I breathe out. And bringing your hands right here to Anjali Mudra at the heart center. As you inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. And then exhale back to the heart center. Do that 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. And 1 more time, inhale and exhale. And I want to just show you all just one little thing real quick about when you're sitting and doing that particular practice. So you want to be able to sit and keep your spine nice and straight like this, even as the arms come up and back. If you're sitting just a little hunched over, you're going to get something that looks and feels like this, where the arms are sort of coming forward because the shoulders are forward. And so the fix for that is something very simple. You simply have to get a folded blanket or beach towel or a sofa cushion or a bolster or something, and you just have to get yourself up just a little bit higher, and that creates extra space in the hips. So now when you do this, your spine stays straight and long. You're not out of alignment. If you start out of alignment, the whole pose is going to be out of alignment. So bring that to a close, and sitting up nice and tall. So either on your blanket or beach towel or not. And then let's just do a little bit of cat-cow. Inhale, engage the root, lock the pit of the belly, round forward into the cat. And then press the sit bones, lengthen the spine, open the heart center. And just doing a few of these. Inhale, drawing the navel towards the spine, coming forward into the cat, and exhale, arching into the cow. Keep going like this. And the next time you come to a seated position, just move in this holographic way, this 3-dimensional asymmetric fluid movement into the fascia. The fascia is one continuous piece of tissue like the skin, but the fascia is more like a netting that wraps around and is interwoven into the muscles, and then also wraps around a lot of the organs and all the organs in the body. And then sit up nice and tall. And now come down onto your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the mat. And the remainder of most of the practice will be here. So the first thing I want you to do is just settle in, just release into the yoga mat. Feel the shoulder blades flat on the floor, and make sure that the back of the neck is long, that your head is not your chin isn't hyperextended like this. You want to just pick your head up and tuck that chin. And take a few breaths here. And if you can't keep your ears, if you can't keep your chin tucked like this, you may need just a little tiny bit of a blanket underneath your head So the trick to using props is using just what you need to stay in alignment without perpetuating a misalignment that you're developing in your body. Now, go ahead and bend your right knee into the chest, flexing the foot, press it up to the ceiling. And then bend the knee into the chest and float that right foot back down to the mat. And then your left knee comes in, flex the foot and straighten. Exhale, bend the knee, lower that left foot down. So keep going like this. Just pedaling those legs. And notice how the belly wants to gently engage, the belly and the root lock. We'll engage and release. And you want to notice that and sort of help it along. So you engage the root lock, the pit of the belly as the knee comes in. It releases a little bit here. And then as the foot comes down again, it engages strongly. But if you've been in yoga for any period of time and you've developed a sense of those bandhas called Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha, you'll be able to feel them, to get a sense of when they're engaging and when they're releasing. And you just sort of want to help them along a little bit. Just being mindful in your yoga practice. Go one more time, the left leg, and then bring that to a close. Stay here and breathe. Notice where you might be holding tension and gently move your legs from side to side, gently massaging the low back into the earth. And then bring this rocking to a close. Bring your arms down by your side. Go ahead and inhale, bring both arms up overhead, the backs of the hands towards the floor, fingertips towards the wall behind you. And exhale, back down. Inhale, engage the pit of the belly, the arms come up and over, and exhaling back. Keep going like this. And the next time both hands are down on the floor, relax and breathe. And if you'd like to gently shift your knees from side to side, you can do that. And then bring this rocking to a close and bring your right knee into the chest. Bring the palm of the right hand on the kneecap. And let's start with these hip circles. Just making big, round, stirring motions with that leg. And your hand is really just sort of there to just to help the leg out. We're just trying to get into the hip joint here, getting it smooth and fluid, playing with the edges of the range of motion you have in your hip. And then go ahead and reverse, going back the other way. And then bring that to a close and just lace your fingers either over the shin or under the knee and hug that right knee into the chest. And if you have a knee that has been injured or tends to have some inflammation in it, just see if you can gently release into that knee joint. So if you're Your flexion is right here. You just want to try as best you can to build in a little more flexion, being really gentle with the knee. And then go ahead and lower that right foot onto the mat. Take a few breaths. Notice if you're holding tension in your back. See if you can release that tension with your breath. And then see if you can engage the root lock, lifting up on the muscles of the pelvic floor and drawing the navel in, engaging the abdominal muscles. Hold Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Hold those for a breath or two. And then exhale and release. And that should help the low back release if you have low back issues. Now bring the left knee into the chest, left hand on the kneecap, and we're going to do those stirring motions. Be sure to take your time with this. So the more slowly you go in your yoga practice, the greater the opportunity for you to find the patterns, the holding patterns that you may have in your body, and then to also get those to release. So that rather than being in your body out of habit, you reside in your body mindfully. So go ahead and reverse, going back the other way. And you'll feel the bandhas engaging and releasing as the knee goes round and round here. One more time all the way around, and then bring that to a close and just hug the left knee. Try to release any holding there may be in the flexion of that knee, inviting it to bend just a little bit further. And breathe into the belly here. Go ahead and lower the left foot. Bring your hands to your sides, take a few breaths. And then go ahead and bring the right knee into the chest. And this time, lace your hands underneath the right thigh. And we're just going to straighten and bend the knee. So just let your foot be relaxed here. You don't have to strongly flex it. You just want to feel that foot straighten and bend. You want to feel it in the knees and on the hamstrings on the back of the leg. And the next time you straighten that leg, stay here and reach through the heel. Now we're going to move into the knee joint, but we're going to try and work that lateral. There's a little tiny bit of lateral motion in your knee joint. So as you bend this right foot, bring it towards the outside of your body. As you bend the right knee, bring the foot to the outside of the body. And as you straighten the knee, bring the foot towards the inside of the body. Bend towards the outside, straighten towards the middle. So you're like painting these big ovals with your big toe because of the movement of the knee. And this exercise, for some reason, works some interesting muscles in the legs because you may find your legs fatigue a little bit. So the next time the leg is straight, stay here, reach through the heel. And then bend the right knee and bring the foot towards the inside of the body. And as you straighten the knee, bring the foot towards the outside. Bend towards the inside and straightening towards the outside. So again, just reversing that little tiny bit of lateral motion in the knee joint. And then the next time that right knee is pressing up towards the ceiling, stay here, reach through the heel and breathe. And then go ahead and bend the right knee into the chest, lower the right foot down to the mat. Take a few breaths. And we'll do the other side. So bringing the left knee into the chest, lacing your fingers under the shin. And we'll just start first by straightening and flexing. Straighten and flex. And the next time you straighten the foot, stay here, reach through the heel. Now, as you bend the knee, bring the foot towards the outside of the body, and as you straighten the knee, the foot comes towards the midline. Bend towards the outside, straighten towards the midline. Keep going like this, and really slow it down. Because the muscles in the backs of our legs tend to be really stiff and tight. So we just want to honor that and to work gently and slowly into the places that are the most problematic. They really need the most attention. And the next time that your foot is straight, stay here, and we're going to reverse. So now as you bend the knee, bring the heel towards the midline of the body, and as you straighten the knee, the foot comes towards the outside. Bending towards the midline and straightening towards the outside. Again, drawing those great big ovals in the air with your big toe as you move that foot by virtue of the knee motion. And then the next time the leg is straight, just stay here, reach through the heel and breathe. And then go ahead and bend that left knee into the chest and lower the foot onto the mat. Release into the mat and breathe. And notice where you may be holding tension. And release that tension with the breath. And then engage the root lock, the pit of the belly, and release. And do that a couple more times, lifting up on the root lock and drawing the navel towards the spine. And you may even feel the sacrum on that lowest part of the back that's fused. You may feel that press into the mat. And then release as you release the bandhas. And then just take a few breaths and notice is all the tension gone. Now, go ahead and bring your right knee into the chest, and as you straighten the knee, the left arm comes up and over, and then bend the right knee, float the right foot, left hand down to the mat, and then left knee comes in, right arm goes up and over, and then bend the left knee, float the right hand, left foot down to the mat. So keep going like this, right arm, left leg, inhale, and exhale back. Left leg, right arm, engage as you inhale. Exhale as they come back. And just keep going like this. It is really important to pay attention to when a yoga practice is pleasant. When does it feel good to be in your body? When do you feel strong and fluid? And also to acknowledge any, I'll just call it biochemical shift you may feel, where you start feeling, you just feel better because you're making a connection with yourself. Go one more time each side. And when you've completed that, be still on your mat. And this time, just really drop into the breath. So as you inhale, let your belly expand. And as you exhale, let the belly recede. And try to pull the breath down, really down in past the rib cage, into the belly, so that you take a full deep breath every time. And again, just notice how it feels to be in your body in that way. And then go ahead and bring your feet so that there may be, you just have to guesstimate, maybe the inside edge of your foot is about an inch. There's about an inch of space. And go ahead and release your knees out towards the floor, so in a butterfly or frog kind of position. And then engage the bandhas and lift the knees back up. Engage the bandhas as the knees lower to the floor. And you want to engage with the idea of pressing the sacrum down towards the earth, but releasing the hip rotators. And lifting back up and releasing. Keep going like this and really take your time. Every time your knees come out to the side, you want to notice how is the body compensating for that? And can you make this part stable while letting the hip rotators release? And the next time both knees come out into that butterfly position, see if you can gently engage the belly and hold that and inhale and exhale into it. So you feel the tensegrity of having strong abdominal muscles or the strong Uddiyana Bandha, and yet it maintains enough compliance to expand with the inhale and gently release with the exhale. So you're holding several energetics in the body, and at the same time, the rotators are releasing so that the knees are allowed to come a little bit closer to the earth. And then go ahead and engage the bandha strongly as the knees come up. And then bring both knees into your chest, bringing the palms of the hands onto the kneecaps. And as you exhale, draw the navel towards the spine, hug the knees into the chest. And as you inhale, the knees float away. And again, exhale, draw the knees into the chest. Engage the pit of the belly, and as you inhale, the knees come away. Keep going like this. So this is a more physiologic breath than we usually do. We usually breathe the opposing way. Exhale as the knees come in, and inhale as the knees come out. And one more time, exhale, hug the knees in, and inhale, the knees come out. And then leave your knees here, maybe let them come up about shoulder distance apart, and bring your arms out to the sides. And we're going to do a, my favorite supine twist. So roll onto your right hip, bringing the right knee onto the floor, and then stack the left leg on top. So there's your twist. And then lift the left knee and come onto your back. Let the right knee come off the floor when it has to. Release the left knee onto the floor, rolling onto your left hip, and bring the right leg on top. There's your twist to the other side. Lifting the right knee, coming onto your back. Rolling onto the right hip, right knee on the ground, left knee stacks. Left knee comes up and over. You're on your back, rolling onto the left hip, and the right knee stacks. And just keep going like this. And then the next time both knees are on the right side, stay here. So just roll as far over onto this right hip as you have to so that the left leg can rest on top. And then over here on this left side, lower this hand down closer to the hip so you're not pulling into the shoulder. But then see if you can release the left shoulder towards the earth so that you feel that twist in your spine, and just stay here and breathe. And then slowly make your way over to your left side. So remember, if this right shoulder is way off the ground, you just need to lower this arm down, lengthen the spine, stack your legs on top of each other, and see if you can twist from the navel to the top of the collarbone, bringing this right shoulder a little closer to the floor, and drop into the breath. And again, rolling over onto the right side. So lifting the right knee, rolling onto the right hip, coming into the twist, lowering that left arm a bit. And then flex both feet and just straighten the left leg. And the left leg will lift a little bit off of the right knee so that you're using the muscles to hold this leg up. And yet you're stretching into the back here, taking a few breaths here. And then bend that left knee, lift it up, come on to your back, come over to the left side, stack the right knee on top, and then straighten that left leg, reaching through the heel. Breathe in here. And bending the right knee. And roll on over onto your back. And then flex both feet and press them up to the ceiling. This is called Supine-A. You can bring your hands behind your thighs here if you want to, or if you want to just use the muscles of the belly and the legs, you can just bring your hands down to the side, taking a couple of breaths here. And then bend the knees into the chest and open the knees out to the side a little bit. And we're going to do a happy baby. So if you can reach the insteps of your, the internal side of your feet like this, you can do it like this. If you can't reach here, you can hold on to your legs right here and support them here. But the knees are like right under the armpits and the feet are pointing up towards the ceiling. And you want to feel that lateral rotation of the thighs, and try not to let this low part of the back roll up a whole lot off the floor. Engage the belly, push that into the floor. And you also don't want this hyperextension of the neck. You want the back of the head flat on the mat and the shoulders down. So if you can't do that with your feet here, with your hands on your feet, just bring your hands down here to where you can support yourself and get into the alignment of the happy baby. And then go ahead and bring your knees into the chest and hug yourself and rock back and forth from side to side. And then go ahead and lower one foot and then the other onto the mat with the knees bent, taking some breaths here. And then bring the right knee into the chest, flex the foot, press it up to the ceiling, and go ahead and point and flex the toes, really reaching through the heel. And it's important for the feet to be flexible and fluid because that helps with balance. And then flexing the foot, reaching through the heel, make big ankle circles. And it's also just really important to keep all the connective tissue pliable, fluid, as well as strong. And then go ahead and reverse, going back the other way. And then bring that to a close, flex the foot, reach through the heel, bend the knee into the chest, float the foot down to the floor, take a few breaths, resting here. Bringing the left knee into the chest, flexing the foot, pressing up to the ceiling, reaching through the heel, and then point and flex those toes. And notice without judgment or expectation where the stiffness is in your body. And don't work to a point of pain, just work to the place where it feels unusual, where you feel the pull or you feel something different in your body, but not to where it's just painful. Now, flex the foot and make those big ankle circles going in one direction. So I'm circling like this. And then reverse, making big ankle circles going in the opposite direction. And then flex the foot, reach through the heel, and bend that knee back into the chest. Lower it down to the ground. Take a few breaths and go ahead and rock the knees back and forth from side to side. And then bring this to a close and bring the knees into the chest, bringing the palms of the hands on top of the kneecaps. And let's just make big circles with our legs going in one direction, allowing the low back to rock and roll on the floor. So you just want to notice and find the place where this feels like it's right for you. And then go ahead and reverse, going back the other way. And then bring that to a close. And do another round of Apanasana, hugging the knees as you exhale and releasing as you inhale forward. Just a few times. Notice the strength of the belly on the front body and the stretch of the connective tissue on the back. And when you're ready, you can bring that to a close and lower one foot and then the other onto the floor. And then straighten your legs coming into Shavasana. So bringing your feet maybe about shoulder distance apart, you can allow the toes to come out, to fall out. Bringing your arms to your side, rolling the palms up towards the ceiling and dropping into your breath. If your low back is achy at all after that practice, get a folded beach towel or a blanket and place it under the thighs like this. And that will tip the pelvis like this a little bit and release any tension you built in the low back.